Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Erin and I do mostly budgeting videos like the one you're about to see here. Thank you so much for tuning in and spending some time with me. I know that this video really should have been uploaded last weekend, but to be honest with you, I had a setback. If you guys know, I've been sick and you guys know what I had and all the drama that went with it, but yeah, I ended up having to go to the ER and everything's okay. Just a lot of complication, not a lot, some complication that I have to deal with. So I was feeling great, and then I was feeling not so great. And I'm still recouping, and doing videos like this kind of helps because it just makes me concentrate on something else. You know, it's not really very strenuous and stuff. So I don't know. I kind of like the distraction. So let's talk about last Friday's payday. So if you guys have been with me for a while, you know that I have been budgeting for almost a year in a big happy planner, and I really like all of the space that it allows. I contemplated on whether or not to change to a Happy Planner Classic for 2021. But when I looked at it, I was like, gosh, that's just not a lot of space. Not that I couldn't make it work, I could, but it just doesn't allow for a lot of extras. So basically what I do is I take the end of the week. So the other side of this vertical layout, I don't really use because I concentrate on paydays, which for us fall on Fridays. So once in a while, my husband will get paid early on a Thursday, but for the most part, it's a Friday. So the first thing I wanted to do was record my payday from December 4th. So I'm going to put my payday, and my husband also should have gotten paid, but he didn't. So my payday for 2 weeks was $1,300. Now I've talked about the pay cut that I got. I got a $400 a month pay cut in the summer, and it's supposed to be reinstated as of the end of this month. So I think our first paychecks in January will have the full amount again. So it should go back up to around $1,500 every 2 weeks, but we'll see. So my husband's payday was also supposed to take place, and since he also tested positive for COVID, he was quarantined for 14 days, and he is eligible for the CARES Act money for, I think, up to 80 hours, but he had to apply for it. It wasn't like his regular hours that he would record, and so they said that it could take 2 to 3 weeks, and I was like, of course. So we're not going to dwell on that. At least I'm not going to dwell on that because there's just no point. If there's one thing I have learned in the past year, it's just patience, patience, patience. So typically what I do with my paydays or my paychecks is I put them aside for our next month's bills. So as you can see, I have January bills written up here. So typically what I would do is I would just put the whole amount, because our bills equal about $28.50, and my paychecks don't cover that. So they used to, but they don't anymore. So what I have to do is I have to migrate my pay over to the next month's bills, and it's like my pay didn't happen. I mean, it does, but I can't really do much with it. But this payday, since it was just me, we have to also have money for our variable expenses. So I'm going to show you how we divvied it up, how I divvied up my paycheck, and then hopefully when he gets his back pay, whenever that happens, if it happens, at this point, I'm just like, ugh. But whenever and if that happens, then we will be a little bit ahead of the game, I guess. So for December 4th, I should have made a line for this. I don't know why I didn't. I was line happy with everything else. I am moving out of my paycheck $900 toward January bills. So that leaves us with $400. Get out my calculator. Not that we need it for this, but it's nice to have a visual. So 1,300 minus 900 leaves us 400. So our variables are always the same. I mean, typically, if there's anything unusual, I kind of hide that under miscellaneous. So I'm just going to write here groceries, of course, dog food, And gas, because my husband's returning to work this week, we do need to fill up. And then miscellaneous. And we do have some miscellaneous this week. So for groceries, we're going to put our typical $125. For dog food, typical $25. For gas this week, we're going to do $50 so he can fill up completely his vehicle. And then for miscellaneous, okay, let's see, 400 minus 125 minus 25 minus 50 gives us $200. So for miscellaneous, there is a tire situation, and I'm going to put 125 for that. And then doctor ER visit. And my copay for that was $75 even. That's the copay for my insurance. So minus 125 minus 75 brings us down to 0. Now the tire situation is going to be more expensive. He needs 2 new tires and one is completely flat. So it's totaling, I can't remember. He has a $200 credit at our car dealership. So I think it's going to be closer to $350, maybe $175 a tire. I'm putting aside $125, and the excess we'll put on our Discover card. So you guys are probably like, well, when do you pay off your Discover card? I usually pay it off whenever I can because I'm doing everything virtually. You know, it could be next payday, it could be when he gets his next paycheck, it could be anytime. But what I do make sure is that I pay my Discover off every single month so we never have interest accrue on our card. And that is something we've been completely successful with. We just use it as like an extra, and honestly I like to use it for that because you also earn cash back with Discover, so it's kind of a win-win, and I don't know, I just like doing it that way. So that brings us down to a zero-based budget. Now here I had total written and it was so wonky, and I was like trying to cover it up with some whiteout and I just couldn't, so I ended up covering up with washi tape. So the total we're spending is $1,300. That's the total we brought in. As far as sinking funds goes, I have nothing this week, so I'm not going to worry about that or update it. I did talk to you guys a little bit about that in my last video and how I was handling it, what I was doing with that money, and the way I wanted to move forward in 2021. But I probably should do a little bit more of an explanation video about what my goals are for 2021 financially, because we were doing really well, and we still are. I think we're fine, but I want to get back to the building process, you know, and getting rid of our 2 little debts that we accumulated this year. I want to erase those and then just get back to some savings. So I'm just going to leave this blank, but I like that it's here because if I did need it, I could populate that quite easily. But yeah, I don't have to do that every single week, and actually I can, even if I wanted to. I just don't have the money every week. So this coming week, well, this is the current week that we're in. So either Thursday or Friday, my husband should get a paycheck, even though he's been off for 2 weeks. I think he's a week behind. So we'll see. I mean, I hope so. If not, we won't have anything coming in, and then I will have to use part of our savings just for our variables. We don't have anything major or anything going on, but the rest of the savings, I do plan to pay off our debts. So that money is kind of spoken for anyway. But that is what our budget looks like for last week going into this week. So all of these, even though I got paid on the 4th, all of this money is for the current week that we're in. So I'm always kind of a week ahead as far as planning goes and spending. But yeah, so I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you are following along for Vlogmas, please stay tuned. I have not given up on that, just had some minor setbacks and I have to get back into the swing of things. So I appreciate your patience, I appreciate your friendship, your kind comments, and of course you just being here and being a part of this channel. And of course I hope to see you in my next video. Take care.